Welcome back to Aarambh Dev Hub. This is episode 3 of the Gupti series. In the previous episodes, we defined the architecture and built the data layer. Today we tackle the most security-critical part of the entire project. The encryption module. Gupti stores secrets encrypted at rest. When you paste a secret and submit, it gets encrypted before storage. When someone reveals it, we decrypt on demand. This episode explains exactly how that works using AES-256-GCM. By the end of this episode, you will understand how symmetric encryption works at a practical level, why we generate fresh keys per secret, and how we handle memory hygiene after reveal. Before we get into encryption details, a quick word. If you find this series valuable for learning production Rust, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Join our Discord community for deeper discussions. And support this work on Buy Me a Coffee if you can. All the links are in the description. Alright, let us get into the crypto. Let us start with the fundamentals. AES stands for Advanced Encryption Standard. It is a symmetric encryption algorithm, which means the same key is used for both encryption and decryption. AES-256 means we use a 256-bit key, which is 32 bytes. GCM stands for Galois Counter Mode. This is an authenticated encryption mode. Authenticated means it does two things at once. It encrypts the data so only someone with the key can read it. And it creates an authentication tag that detects if the data was tampered with. So if an attacker modifies even 1 byte of the ciphertext, decryption will fail. This is extremely important for security. We do not just want privacy. We want integrity verification. The components involved are the key, which is 32 bytes, the nonce, which is 12 bytes for GCM, the plaintext, which is your secret, and the ciphertext, which is the encrypted output plus authentication tag. The nonce is a number used once. It must be unique for every encryption with the same key. If you reuse a nonce with the same key, security is completely broken. For Gupti, we generate both key and nonce randomly for each secret, so this is not a concern. Here is an important design decision. In Gupti, we generate a fresh random key and nonce for every single secret. We do not have one global server key. Why this approach? First, isolation. If one secret is somehow compromised, it does not affect any other secret. Each encryption is completely independent. Second, simplicity. We do not need a key management service or key rotation logic. The key lives only as long as the secret exists. When the secret is revealed and destroyed, the key goes with it. Third, forward secrecy in practice. Once a secret is revealed, we zeroize the key from memory. Even if someone somehow captures server memory later, they cannot decrypt secrets that were already revealed. The trade-off is that we store the key alongside the ciphertext in memory. For a more advanced system, you might use envelope encryption where a master key encrypts the per-secret keys. But for Gupti v1, our approach is simple and secure. Let us walk through the encrypt function step by step. The function takes plaintext bytes as input. It returns three things: the ciphertext, the nonce, and the key. All as raw byte vectors. First, we generate a random 32-byte key using the rand crate. We use thread renderarray, which provides cryptographically secure random numbers. Second, we generate a random 12-byte nonce. Same approach with thread renderrates. Third, we create the AES-256-GCM cipher using the key. The AES-GCM crate provides the AES-256-GCM type for this. Fourth, we call the encrypt method on the cipher. We pass the nonce and the plaintext. The method returns ciphertext bytes that include the authentication tag. If anything goes wrong during encryption, we return an error. But in practice, encryption with valid inputs should not fail. Finally, we return the tuple of ciphertext, nonce and key. The caller stores all three in the secret struct. Notice that we do not do any base 64 encoding inside this function. We work with raw bytes. Encoding happens only at API boundaries if needed. Now the decrypt function. This function takes ciphertext bytes, nonce bytes, and key bytes. It returns the plaintext as a string or an error if decryption fails. First, we reconstruct the AES-256-GCM cipher from the provided key bytes. Second, we call the decrypt method with the nonce and ciphertext. This is where authentication happens automatically. If the ciphertext was tampered with, or if the key or nonce are wrong, decryption fails. Third, if decryption succeeds, we convert the plaintext bytes to a UTF-8 string and return it. If decryption fails for any reason, we return a Gupti error decryption failed. We do not leak details about why it failed. From a security perspective, you do not want to give attackers information about what went wrong. One critical point about error handling. A decryption failure could mean wrong key, corrupted data, or tampered ciphertext. We treat all these the same way. The secret is unrecoverable and the reveal fails. After a secret is successfully revealed, we have a security responsibility. The key bytes should not linger in memory. This is where the zeroize crate comes in. Zeroize provides a way to securely overwrite sensitive data in memory. When you call zeroize on a byte vector, it overwrites all bytes with zeros and ensures the compiler does not optimize this away. Why does this matter? Because memory can be inspected. Core dumps, memory forensics, swap files, or even speculative execution attacks could potentially read leftover key material. By zeroizing the key after reveal, we reduce the window of exposure. The key exists in memory only for the brief moment between retrieval and decryption. In Gupti, we zeroize the key bytes right after successful decryption in the reveal handler. The secret struct is removed from storage, decryption happens, zeroize runs, and then we return the plaintext. This is not perfect security. The key still existed in memory for a short time. But it is meaningful hygiene that reduces risk. Combined with the one-time destruction behavior, it provides good practical security for the threat model we care about. Let us discuss error handling in the crypto module. We follow a simple rule. Crypto functions either succeed completely or fail with a typed error. No partial outputs. No fallback behavior. If encryption somehow fails, we return decryption failed. Actually, for encryption we would return an internal error, since encryption failure is unexpected. If decryption fails, we return decryption failed. The caller handles these errors appropriately. In the reveal handler, a decryption failed error means the secret cannot be recovered. The request returns a 500 error, and the secret is already gone from storage. This might seem harsh. The user cannot retry. But remember, the one-time semantic already consumed the secret. A failed decryption on a valid secret would indicate a serious bug or data corruption. Either way, the secret should not be recoverable by retry. This is defensive design. We fail hard rather than fail in confusing ways. Even though this is a walkthrough series, let us mention testing strategy. The crypto module is highly testable in isolation. Test case 1. Encrypt a known plaintext, then decrypt it. Verify the output matches. Test case 2. Modify 1 byte of ciphertext, then try to decrypt. Verify it fails with decryption failed. Test case 3. Use wrong key for decryption. Verify it fails. Test case 4. Use wrong nonce for decryption. Verify it fails. These tests validate that our AES-GCM implementation provides both confidentiality and integrity as expected. They run fast and give confidence that the crypto foundation is solid. Quick recap of this episode. We explained how AES-256-GCM works as an authenticated encryption scheme. We walked through the encrypt function that generates fresh key and nonce per secret. We walked through the decrypt function with proper error handling. We covered memory hygiene using the zeroize crate. And we discussed defensive error handling philosophy. The crypto module is now complete. Every secret in Gupti is encrypted with military-grade AES-256-GCM before storage. Next episode, we build the secret vault. Dash map for concurrent in-memory storage, atomic one-time retrieval, and background TTL cleanup task. That concludes our deep dive into encryption. If this episode helped you understand AES-256-GCM better, subscribe to the channel for more. Join the Discord community to ask crypto questions or share your implementations. And support the series on Buy Me a Coffee. All links in the description. See you next time. See you in episode 4.